Hello everyone, beginning with our study of continent of Asia. Slightly late, I do understand, but we'll be understanding all the physical and political regions of Asia with the river and also the mountains, plateaus, and how to go about with important latitudes that is correlated to this continent, because ideally speaking the continent of Asia extends from 10 degrees south to up to 80 degrees north latitude. And in both the perspective, we need to take the understanding of what are the climatic, physiographic and etc. as the characteristics. So without wasting much time, let us get started with our study of continent of Asia. So yes, beginning with map of Asia. Now Asia, the largest continent of the world, incorporates its location. We all are aware of it. Start noticing the important block. This is the island which is referred to be New Guinea, and this island actually have its extension in two different continents. And if you try to notice the part that is being shaded as in corresponding color to Asia, that part is called Irian Jaya. Irian Jaya is part of Indonesia, and the dark green part which is colored up with Australia is called Papua New Guinea, which is an independent country. And precisely we have attempted one question on this. If you can recall, we have taken a question on the newest to be developed country, that is Bougainville, that will be with the referendum will be separating out from Papua New Guinea. And if I have to take the reference of the regions divide of Asia, so Asia is essentially divided into Southwest Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, East Asia and North Asia. And if I take this regional divide, it's very clearly giving me the support to understand that the demarcated areas or boundaries are not specific, and we are taking it only in reference to our study of distinguishing between what are the relief features that we have to understand. If you see here, this is the boundary line between Europe and Asia. So this corresponds to river Ural. This is Caspian Sea. So Caspian Sea, river Ural and Ural mountains draws the boundary between Asia and Europe. So sufficient for us to take the introduction of. Let us get to the political map in details. So beginning with the political map of Asia now. So the region into which we can divide Asia is number one, Northern Asia. And Northern Asia, mind it, is absolutely one political entity, that is Russia. This part of Russia is Siberia. And we can easily notice it is only via Siberia that one of the important latitude Arctic Circle is traversing. So Arctic Circle gives me my traversing in Asia only via Siberia. Added to it, if I have to pick up the references of important location, shading it up, this part is recognized to be Chukchi Peninsula, and it is Chukchi Peninsula that actually shares the absolute narrow strait called Bering Strait, separating it from the seaward peninsula of Alaska. So Chukchi Peninsula of Siberian Russia, demarcating Bering Strait, that takes me to Alaskan Peninsula. Beyond that, we can easily notice this peninsula which is called Kamchatka Peninsula, and Sea of Okhotsk is demarcated by it. These are Kurile Islands, which we have talked about in taking Raikoke active volcanic mountain in our study already. So you can take references of them into account. So what is Northern Russia or what is Northern Asia? It's Russia, and it is incorporating Siberian Russian territory. Getting to the other physiographic unit. So I am talking about East Asia now. So East Asia is comprised of Mongolia, China, North Korea, South Korea, Japan, and also Taiwan. And when I take these countries as East Asian countries, so region that is East Asia is the region comprised of mainland countries. Mainland countries is Mongolia, China, North and South Korea, an island country that is Japan. Now because Japan asked us to get into the enlargement, so slightly zooming in here. Starting from Kuril Island, this island of Japan, the northernmost island of Japan, and that is recognized to be continental Hokkaido Island. The biggest island of the island country Japan is Honshu Island. Honshu Island has got the maximum cluster of megacities, and we can see the capital city Tokyo also located. This smaller island, just shaded it, is called Shikoku, and the southernmost island, comparatively bigger, is called Kyushu. This small chain of island also belongs politically to Japan, and it's called Ryukyu Island. So if I have to say Japan, the island country of East Asia, it is actually extending between Pacific Ocean and the marginal water bodies that are Sea of Japan. Yellow Sea is not related to Japan, be very cautious. East China Sea, yes, because of Ryukyu Island. So Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, Kyushu and Ryukyu makes Japan, and Japan does have its extension from Sea of Japan to South China Sea. If I have to understand Yellow Sea, and this is the bay, this bay is called Bohai, it's Bohai Gulf. Bohai Gulf and Yellow Sea is basically incorporating the demarcation by Korean Peninsula. If I just remove out all these, it will become easier for you to notice. Are we noticing that it is Korean Peninsula that is demarcating Yellow Sea from Sea of Japan? And this narrow extension, as I labeled it earlier, is Bohai Gulf. And this peninsula called Korean Peninsula is politically divided into two countries. So starting from the arc of Kuril Island, so see carefully, this island is politically Russia, and this island is what is called Sakhalin. Sakhalin Island is in Sea of Okhotsk. Sea of Okhotsk is demarcated from Pacific Ocean by Kuril Island, and it is Japanese island that demarcates Sea of Japan and East China Sea. Northern Asia is comprised of Russia, East Asia, mainland and island. Now we are going to the Central Asian countries. So first on this map, the Central Asian countries of this continent is basically related to breakaway countries of former USSR. So which are the Central Asian countries and how do we justify their location one by one? Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan. The Central Asian countries incorporate these 5 breakaway countries of former USSR. And if I take these 5 breakaway countries of former USSR, they are essentially referred as landlocked. Please have note of this much detailed map for this region and cautiously identify. Why do we identify all these countries to be landlocked? Because they have their shoreline. Specifically, when I read Kazakhstan, it has got its shoreline with Caspian Sea. Turkmenistan, it has got its shoreline with Caspian Sea. But other countries, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan are landlocked. And ideally speaking, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan should also be considered to be landlocked. but that now is not correct. Reason being, Caspian is interrelated to, Caspian Sea is linked to Black Sea, I'll make you see it just in a while, via Don Volga shipping canal, and I talked about it earlier in my European continent video. If you have not taken it, take note of it. Because of Don Volga shipping canal, Caspian Sea is now linked up with Black Sea, and it is therefore that via Black Sea I am linked up where? I am linked up to Atlantic Ocean. So I am now not logically a landlocked region, and it is therefore that as soon as I say Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan have got their shoreline with Caspian Sea, it becomes evident that these are the countries that have got maritime links today. If I ask you to see the other important constituent in Central Asia, then please have note on Aral Sea and Lake Balkhash. If I zoom it, it will become slightly more easier for you to see. Lake Balkhash. Aral Sea is drained by two rivers, Sirdarya and Amudarya. And because of both these rivers being excessively channelized, diverted, the water is excessively diverted, there is the lesser discharge in Aral Sea, making this sea substantially closed down. Central Asian countries is comprised of these 5 countries, breakaway countries of former USSR. All these countries are characterized with landlocked characteristics technically. However, with both Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan having their shoreline with Caspian Sea and Caspian linked up to Black Sea now, very clearly with Don Volga shipping canal, I do identify Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan to be having a maritime link to them. Okay, now if I ask you to see slight more enlarged version towards West Asia. Have clear notice of what we have just taken a while ago. This is my Caspian Sea, very well labeled, and this is my Black Sea. In between Caspian and Black Sea, you have got 3 countries right here. And these 3 countries are collectively called Caucasus states. Which are Caucasus states? It's Azerbaijan, Armenia and Georgia. Mind it, these are also the breakaway countries of former USSR. I want you to read out their names very clearly with the important blocks demarcated. Now, which are these countries that we are talking about? Can you notice Georgia, Azerbaijan and Armenia written here? I have already written the names. These countries are Caucasus states, and mind it, they are cusp between Black Sea and Caspian Sea. And all the countries that I notice south of it, whether I am taking Turkey, I hope you are noticing the name, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, Iran. They all are called Southwest Asian countries. So which will be Southwest Asian countries, all the countries that are demarcated west, southwest of India. And which are the countries that majorly makes this? You can divide it to make the things easier for you. All these countries which are confined in this peninsula can be called Arabian countries. So Arabian Peninsula incorporate how many important countries? So take it as Gulf countries first. So Gulf countries will include Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia of course. With Gulf of Aden pick up Yemen, Gulf of Oman pick up Oman. And once I am out of this peninsula, then the two big countries Iran and Iraq. And I have reached Mediterranean sea shoreline with Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, Israel and Turkey. Several times I have emphasized that Turkey, the country of two continents, has to be taken with the specifications here. If I quickly remove all these that we have labeled, which are the countries that can be demarcated as the countries in Southwest Asia, the region of our concern, as we are learning the regions of Asia. So Southwest Asian countries will include all the countries that I can demarcate west of India, Pakistan. Mind it, Afghanistan may be the member of SAARC now, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. But geographically, Afghanistan forms the boundary line between South Asia and Southwest Asia. So west of Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Turkey, and then Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, and this peninsula that we have said as Arabian Peninsula and its affected. Arabian Peninsula and the included countries is West Asia. So we have just taken the understanding of Northern Asia, which is Siberian Russia, East Asia, which is mainland plus island, island essentially reflected with Japan and Taiwan. Japanese islands includes the biggest Honshu Island and others. Taiwan is an island country. Which are Central Asian countries, the breakaway countries of former USSR. Are they example of landlocked countries? Technically, yes. But with Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan, landlocked is not valid today. The Caucasus states are the countries that are breakaway former USSR, located between Black Sea and Caspian Sea. And what is Southwest Asia? Southwest Asian countries are very well demarcated from Afghanistan west, because if I go only west, I will be reaching till Turkey, but entire Arabian Peninsula will be not recognized. So we call it Southwest Asian countries. And how many categories we have divided them into? We have divided them into one peninsular country and two the west countries. So you can take that divide and identify. Which is the other regions that we take into reference? So now it is easier one, South Asia, and if I have to slightly zoom in, South Asia means India and neighboring countries. What is the elementary difference that I see between South Asia, Indian subcontinent? So you have to understand that South Asia means Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Maldives. South Asia. And as soon as I say Indian subcontinent, then the island countries are not included. So Maldives and Sri Lanka will not be the part of Indian subcontinent. Indian subcontinent means mainland country only. So what is the elementary difference between Indian subcontinent and South Asia? That Indian subcontinent will be inclusive of only mainland countries, and South Asia will include the island countries of Sri Lanka and Maldives as well. So this difference you should maintain. And if we try to slightly go towards the last region of Asia, that is the Southeast Asian region. So best way to identify it is divide it into two parts, unequal part, mainland and island. So mainland, first pick up Myanmar and then take Indochina Peninsula. Which are the countries that are part of Indochina Peninsula? Indochina Peninsula includes Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia. Indochina Peninsula do incorporate, note this, tail ender of Myanmar, but Myanmar is better counted separately. So, mainland countries are divided into three: 1 Myanmar, 2 Indochina, and 3, note this part, Malaya Peninsula. And Malaya Peninsula goes with Malaysia and Singapore as the country. So, mainland of Southeast Asia is divided into three parts. Number 1, it's Myanmar. Number 2, it is Indochina Peninsula. And number 3, it is Malaya Peninsula. And if I take the countries that are related, so Malaya Peninsula will be Malaysia as well as Singapore. Singapore is a city country. And if I take Indochina Peninsula, I'll be having all the major countries in the mainland Southeast Asia. Vietnam, the only landlocked country Laos, Thailand, Cambodia. And as you are noticing the map of Malaysia, don't miss to see that Malaysia is not just mainland, it is also this island called Borneo has got this yellow colored part, that is Malaysian territory. Malaysian Borneo is divided into two major constituents. Which are they? They are called Sarawak and Sabah provinces. So, mainland Malaysia and Borneo Malaysia. Don't miss to see Brunei. Brunei is also the country which is located in Borneo. So, Borneo basically incorporate three political units. Which are the three political units that I can see with Borneo? If I slightly more zoom in, which are the three countries that I am noticing with Borneo? Borneo majorly is Indonesia. It also have Malaysia and Brunei. And if you try to notice, Indonesia, the fourth most populous country of the world. China, India, USA, Indonesia is the largest country of Southeast Asia. And needless to say, most populous here. And what exactly Indonesia is comprised of? It's Sumatra Island, it's Java Island. These smaller islands like Bali, Lombok, don't miss to see Timor Island. This is Timor Island. Timor Island has got Timor-Leste as an independent country now. Sulawesi Island, which is also called Celebes Island. These islands are called Moluccas Island. And this is the island which I told you in the very beginning, Irian Jaya. Now remind yourself, Irian Jaya is part of New Guinea Island, and New Guinea Island is politically divided into two, Asia as well as Europe. Asia as a region is divided into 6 constituents. And which are these 6 constituents? The 6 constituent divide of Asia: North Asia, East Asia, Central Asia, Southwest Asia, South Asia, Southeast Asia. If we try to pick up the physical map of Asia now, so starting on the way we have taken up will not help. So we are picking up the specifications of the location as slightly zooming in. Now as soon as I start from Turkey, northern Turkey, south of Black Sea, southern Turkey, north of Mediterranean Sea, Pontic Mountains, Taurus Mountains, now I have the labeling in my map: Elbrus Mountain and Zagros Mountain in Iran. In Afghanistan and northern Pakistan, you have got Hindu Kush. In Pakistan, you have got Suleiman. Greater Himalayas in India, Nepal, Bhutan, and Kunlun Shan in China. Arakan Yoma in Myanmar. And this Arakan Yoma marks up its continuation as these islands, Andaman Nicobar Islands. All the mountains that we have marked, from Turkey's Pontic Taurus to Iranian Elbrus Zagros to Afghanistan, Pakistan Hindu Kush to Pakistan's Suleiman to India, Nepal, Bhutan, and also Tibet, Himalayas, Greater Himalayas, Kunlun Shan and Arakan Yoma are young fold mountains that are located at the active plate boundary called mid-continental belt. And with these young fold mountain, intermontane plateaus are also very evident for us to see. So which are the intermontane plateaus? Tibetan plateau. Here we have Potwar plateau. Here we have Iranian plateau, and here it is Anatolia plateau. So plateau of Tibet, the highest plateau of world, is intermontane plateau between Kunlun Shan and Himalayas. If I have to pick up any other important relief feature which is young, so I'll slightly zoom in the part here. Arabian Peninsula is parting away from Africa, and that is the reason entire belt here. What is the mountains in Yemen? It is called Hadramwat. This mountain is called Asir. This is Hijaz. Which type of mountains these are? This is diverging. All these mountains are young and block mountains. And that is the reason Red Sea. Red Sea is considered to be which type of sea? It is in Rift Valley. So if I have to select out the young mountains in Asia, I am dominantly having fold mountains. Like even here, Oman, this part of Oman will have which type of mountain? I think we can easily make sense with it. What will be the type of mountain that I'll see here? If we have got Suleiman here, this is called Akhdar Mountain. And Akhdar mountains are fold mountains, because Persian Gulf is at converging boundary. Red Sea is at diverging. Every mountain that I notice north of it, so this is my Pamir, and I am taking every mountain north of it. You can notice Altai mountain. Let me slightly zoom it up. Altai mountain, Stananov mountain, Verkhoyansk mountain are which type of mountains? Old fold mountains. And this is where we take the demarcation, like in between Altai mountains, south of it I am noticing Tarim Basin. North of Altai mountain you have got Zungarian Basin. These all are example of intermontane plateau. And if you have to remind yourself of the location that we tried to pick up with the map of Asia already, slightly zooming in here, notice carefully what we are trying to pick up. This is my Chukchi Peninsula, this is my Bering Strait, and Kamchatka Peninsula, Sea of Okhotsk. All the mountains as Verkhoyan, Stananov, and the mountains that are seen in the northern part of Mongolia are examples of which type of mountains? They are examples of old fold mountains, and it is with this that we demarcate northern Siberia as West Siberian Plain, Central Siberian Plateau and Eastern Mountains. So, dominant relief feature that I will see with Asia is its young fold mountain. Old fold mountains north of Pamir Knot is also significant, but certainly not as prominent as we see as young fold. And with Siberian Plateau, don't miss to see Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal is also a deep saltwater lake in this region. If I have to zoom in this part to make you understand the demarcated region, so notice Java Trench, because here it is converging destructive boundary. This is Indian Ocean plate that converges with Sunda plate, and the complete subduction is the region that we have got one of the lengthiest linear trench of the world, Java Trench. And that is the reason all the mountains, Barisan mountain it is called in Sumatra, are which type of mountain? Young fold mountain. And if we try to see this, Kurile, Japan, Bonin, Mindanao, Mariana. This is Kurile Trench. This is Japanese Trench. This is Bonin Trench. This is the deepest trench of the world, Mariana Trench. And this is Mindanao Trench. All these makes examples of, we are aware of it, Circum-Pacific Ring of Fire. They all are at active boundary. So, physiographically, what are the important features that I need to keep in mind for this largest continent of the world? All the mountain arc that I see with Pamir east or west makes example of young mountains. Only that Asir, Hijaz, Hadramwat makes example of young block, rest all of them are young fold. All the mountains that I see north of Pamir will be old fold mountain, Altai mountain, Verkhoyansk mountains, Stananov mountains are good examples. And the trenches that I see with the active subducing boundary is Java Trench with the Indonesian islands, and that is the reason Indonesia is willing to make the change of its location of capital, because Java Island is quite hazard prone, and we have got the chain of trenches right here with the Pacific. And Mariana Trench with Challenger Deep. Is the deepest point of the world, some 11,022 meters from mean sea level. Important rivers and important mountains, map of Asia one by one. Zooming in, enlarging and highlighting them one by one. So, beginning from northern part, Kamchatka Peninsula, Okhotsk Sea, Kurile Island, Chukchi Peninsula, River Lena, River Amur. Amur river draws international boundary between China and Russia. This is Sakhalin Island. This is Hokkaido Island, Honshu Island, Shikoku Island, Kyushu Island. Want you to notice this chain of island. This is my Bering Sea. This chain of island is called Aleutian. And Aleutian Island is the reason that we have got international date line shifting like this. So Chukchi Peninsula, this is my international date line, roughly. So Chukchi Peninsula remains in Eastern Hemisphere and Aleutian Island is taken in Western Hemisphere. Because Aleutian Island is politically United States of America. What is this lake? This is Lake Baikal. River Yenisei, River Ob. This is called Kara Sea. And what is the demarcation? This is Central Siberian Plateau. Ancient plateau it is. This is West Siberian Plain. This mountain will be Altai, Tian Shan. Altun Shan. What will be this then? This block, this is called Hungarian Basin and this is Tarim Basin. Ural Mountain, Ural River, Caspian Sea is the boundary between Europe and Asia. This is Aral Sea. And can you recognize these rivers now? This is Sirdarya, Amudarya. And please have a note, this is what I talked about. This is mouth of river Volga. This is river Volga and this is river Don. So Volga river, it is in Europe. I have talked about it earlier and this is river Don. And here we have got the canal that is called Don Volga shipping canal. So if Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan have got shoreline with Caspian, with this link canal they can easily go to Black Sea. And Black Sea is linked up with, slightly zooming it here, this is Turkey, this is Bosporus Strait, this is Drandilus Strait, and what is the water body in between? This is called Sea of Marmara. And this part of Turkey is called Istanbul. So from Black Sea via Bosporus Strait to Sea of Marmara, Drandilus, you have reached Mediterranean Sea. Mountain Pontic, Mountain Taurus, river system Tigris Euphrates, Anatolia Plateau, Caucasus Mountain, Elbrus Mountain, Zagros Mountain, Asir Mountain, Hijaz Mountain, Hadramawat Mountains, Akhdar Mountains. Come on, apply which mountain are block. So it's Hadramawat, it's Hijaz, it's Asir. Akhdar will be fold mountain. And what is this mountain here? This will be Suleiman, and this is Hindu Kush. Himadri Kunlun Shan, Tibetan Plateau. Indus River. Sangpo River. River Mekong, lengthiest river of Southeast Asia. River Sikiang. River Yangtze or Changjiang, lengthiest river of China. River Wangho. River Bohai. This is Bohai Gulf. This is Yellow Sea. River Irrawaddy, lengthiest river of Myanmar. River Chao Phraya, Thailand. Borneo. Malaya Peninsula, Sumatra, Java. Syllabus. Luzon, Bali, Lombok, Banda. Can we recognize these now? What are these arcs? The trenches that we have taken earlier. Pacific Ocean, with converging boundary that we develop here. This all is Arctic Ocean. These are New Siberian Islands. River Ob, this is Gulf of Ob. This is called Taimyr Peninsula. These islands are called Severnaya Zemlya. However, this island is Novoya Zemlya. These all are Arctic islands of Siberia. And if I have to label some marginal water bodies, I'll surely say here is East Siberian Sea, and west of it is called Laptev Sea. And if we slightly go right here, this part of course falls in European region is White Sea. And mind it, it is with White Sea that we correlate Murmansk. Murmansk is in European Russia, it's not in Asiatic Russia. You can easily see what is the boundary? Ural Mountains. And Ural Mountains forms the boundary, so this automatically becomes a peninsula. This peninsula is called Yamal Peninsula. Yamal Peninsula of Siberia. India I am not focusing, that is the reason not purposefully marking up the things. Now as one more attempt of continuing on with the regions. Bering Sea, East Siberian Sea, Laptev Sea, Gulf of Ob, Kara Sea, Sea of Okhotsk, Sea of Japan, Yellow Sea, East China Sea, South China Sea, Gulf of Thailand, Java Sea, Flores Sea, Banda Sea, Syllabus Sea. Syllabus is the name of this island. Martaban Gulf, Andaman Sea, Bay of Bengal, Gulf of Mannar, Arabian Sea, Khambat Gulf, Kutch Gulf, Oman Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, Persian Gulf, Red Sea, Bab el Mandeb, Gulf of Aden, Gulf of Aqaba, Gulf of Suez, Sinai Peninsula, Aral Sea, Caspian Sea, Black Sea, not in Asia, Mediterranean Sea, some part we can take it, Sea of Marmara, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, Arctic Ocean. And if I have to take reference of the important latitudes for this, if I have to take reference of important latitude of this continent, equator, Sumatra, Borneo, Celebes, Moluccas, Irian Jaya. Tropic of Cancer, Arctic Circle. Philippines is neither with the equator nor the Tropic of Cancer, you can see it here. So China, Myanmar, Bangladesh, India, and in Southwest Asia, you can easily notice Oman, UAE, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, India, Myanmar, China. 23.5 degrees north. And Arctic Circle, no prize for guessing, is only with Siberian Russia. I hope you have understood the map of Asia well now. Just take the revision with any of the standard atlas that you have been following, so that when we are swifter with the revision with a logical sequence, things becomes manageable. And you must have noticed that already with the other continent videos that I have taken. So happy learning to all of you and all the very best.